Sadly, I got to get up and do what I got to do here to try to keep making finances until I leave this place.
In 500 feet, keep left at the fork. Follow signs for Groton.
Sadly, I got to get up and do what I got to do here to try to keep making finances until I leave this place. Sadly, I got to get up and do what I got to do here to try to keep making finances until I leave this place. When you sin, you let him in. When you sin, you let him in. If you're having nightmares constantly being attacked, it's because you let it in. When you sin, you let him in.
The last women that Mark lived with, and the last women that helped him out, it didn't end well. The last people that gave him money and they went to their house, they had to get the police. Yes, it's all on his old videos. Yeah, remember he went to the overpass in Oregon, all that, he told you? Called it the Passover and all that. Yeah, that didn't end well. They had to call the police on him to get him out. He wanted money from them. He was threatening them. That was since he's been on YouTube. It's all still in the old archives. Still up on YouTube for everybody to see. Then what happened? Well, before that, he had a wife. Guess what? The wife he says he caught the wife with a police officer behind her van. They were probably having an affair. No. Tell the truth, Mark. Your wife threw you out and got a restraining order, and the police had to remove you because you were dangerous. What happened before that woman, Mark? Oh, that's right. South Dakota. Remember that? Criminal vehicular battery. Some woman he purposely ran over with his car. Criminal vehicular battery. Some woman he purposely ran over with his car, probably trying to break up with him. He spent 10 years in prison. Ask him about it. Cynthia has ignored all the warnings. Criminal vehicular battery, he served 10 years. He got 10 years for that. Put the lady in the hospital, ran her over with his vehicle on purpose. This is what happens to women when you tell Mark you've had enough and you don't want him living with you anymore. So who knows? Maybe she looks like from that to that because Mark won't leave. Maybe he's threatened her. A 3-year-old car he's driving around, almost brand new, leased him a car, paying all his bills, paying for vacations. He went to Israel twice, she paid for that. He goes down to Florida all the time. He's gone all night. He shows you and talks about he's at 3 a.m. he's out with prostitutes. How many times has he told you and showed you he's out at 3 o'clock in the morning in a strange town with prostitutes? Oh, he's witnessing it them at 4 o'clock in the morning. And she pays for it. Unbelievable. He drives to Florida for $300 with a honey, comes back, doesn't like it, and has to go back to return a jar. So maybe she looks like this because, I don't know. You tell me. Is he threatening her? Does she have no choice? Does he... Well, he told you. He's got her convinced. If you work and have a job, you're of the world. That's what she thinks. Mark shouldn't have to work. That's being of the world. No, driving around all night, 3 a.m. with prostitutes and heroin addicts. He told you too. He's had heroin addicts, prostitutes, all kinds of people in his car. Story after story of how somehow these people are in his car in the middle of the night. She pays for it. Pays for everything. He's gained like 400 pounds in the 4 years.
Show you guys. These are the new t-shirts. For you guys that said you're coming, I'll have your t-shirts waiting for you, okay? I have them on the side. But anyhow, that's what they look like in the front.
He's gained like 400 pounds in the 4 years. So yeah, she does look like this. I didn't doctor the photos. She went from that, as Mark's coming through the door, to this. And she doesn't have nothing left. Broke. So broke, from a $600,000 home in Martha's Vineyard to broke and scamming people for PayPal because they've had hard times on money. But she can't say no to Mark. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, she does look like this after 4 years. You ask her why she looks like this. This is what it looks like when you're infested with demons and you've been backing up a false prophet, being completely rebellious against God in the name of Jesus. So yes, sorry to say, it is true. This is 4 years of living with Mark Hardy. Anyway, I hope this helped.
The other day I was mentioning how how I was having a very bad experience with somebody, and I wasn't watching myself. You know what I mean? You guys, like it says, we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but spiritual principalities. And even in ourselves, you guys, when somebody causes you or gets you to get mad and upset, and you got to ask yourself, that's not like Christ. Would Christ get upset? Would Christ get mad? No. And this is why you guys, like even for me, I have to, and I'm in a good place for this, to just separate and not deal with this. But I'm going to share this experience I had the other day or the other week. A couple of times we had some really horrible work done by some contractors. They just basically caused just a lot of issues. And then when we complained about it, and then they came back and still had the same bad work. And and then when I complained about that again, and then they sent the same person back, and I told them, I'm gonna have to stand over you and watch you.
And I told them, I'm going to have to stand over you and watch you.
And I told them, I'm gonna have to stand over you and watch you. Everything that you do. I said, because of what you did. I said, I complained about you the last time you were here and the work that you did. And then all of a sudden, he came at me, and then I'm like, no way. And then all of a sudden, he came at me, and then I'm like, no way, and I lost my, I'm going to have to say, I was not peaceable at all.
I was not peaceable at all.
And see, you guys, that's not how we're supposed to be. What I should have done was instead, because I know I was right about one thing, but my behavior was not right.
My behavior was not right.
That made it wrong. Even though I may have been right at one moment, I all of a sudden became wrong because I wasn't being Christ-like, Christ-minded. And what I should have just said was, well, if a person comes back and they say, you know what, I'm sorry, I did this wrong and I really shouldn't have, and I did it wrong, forgive me, I'm sorry. Hey, let's start all over here again, okay, easily. You can easily forgive somebody if they'll do that. But if they don't and they want to say whatever, the thing is, where I have to stand on my thing, okay? He didn't ask to be forgiven for anything. And he wanted to tell me he wanted to come his way at me, and I should have just said, no, you're not going to be doing any work here today. And, and what we eventually ended up doing, they didn't want to do any more work for us because they said we complained too much about the work that they did. And one of them sprayed some kind of stuff in the air conditioner, and it had a bunch of orange hard stuff in it. It turned it hard orange. So we called them to come back out and clean it up, and they admitted that it was the wrong stuff, that the guy used the wrong material in there. But then they wanted to charge us to clean out the mess that they made. But then they wanted to charge us to clean out the mess that they made. And that was one of the complaints that we had then too. And then the other one was where the guy didn't do any of the work that they said that they would do. And we still paid for it. And the thing is, okay, we paid for it. I had no idea the same guy was coming back out. Because I would have stopped him right there on the phone. I said, no, don't even bother sending him. It's not going to happen. Because number one, the guy didn't, he's not going to ask to be forgiven for what they did. He's not going to ask to be forgiven for what they did. They admitted that it was the wrong stuff, that the guy used the wrong material in there. And which we could move on like that. But the thing is, you guys, we have to watch ourselves. It's not him but the spirit in him. Because when he first showed up, I tried witnessing to him about the times we're in. He immediately said, I don't believe, and I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anything about Christ, you know? And then from there, it just went bad. You know, he was in and out of here and charged $1,000 for 30 minutes work. And he didn't do the work he was supposed to do. So, but it didn't make an excuse for me to, I lost my cool. You know, I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent. I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
I just got loud. I'm loud anyhow. When I talk, I'm short-winded, and sometimes I have to talk a little harder to get the words to come out. So I do, but I did. Actually, I got upset. I was literally upset. I didn't want the guy there, and I was ready to have him leave. And the thing is, you guys, we have to watch ourselves. Because remember, it's not the guy, okay? But these are spirits that get in us, okay? Even when I was getting a little, what does it say? It says, resist the devil, overcome temptations, and they will flee from you. That's why we have Christ as an example. We have to be trying to follow Christ, his ways. Even if somebody is wrong, it says that in the Word of God. If somebody comes up and steals your coat, give them your cloak. If somebody comes up and steals your coat, give them your cloak.
If somebody comes up and steals your coat, give them your cloak.
You know? I mean, you know, that's how we're supposed to be. And so I just wanted to come on here and say that, you know, because that did happen the other day, and I don't like it. And even, you know, going out in public, I'm seeing the manifestation in people, where people are even changing now more so that I don't even want to interact with them. You know, it's time to get separated. It's time to come out from among them. But if you are around them and you have to deal with them, see, I don't have to. I could have just simply ended it right then and there and said, no, look, you're not going to be doing any work here. I'm not even going to stand over you and watch you. You're not going to be here. You know, because there's already a problem here. And I don't hate you, but, you know, I know what it is. It's spiritual. He doesn't. He already let me know he didn't want to hear anything about Christ. So that's anti-Christ. Excuse me 1 second. And some people are getting more attacks than others, you know. I've got a lot of mockers and scoffers out there. They can't stand me. And that's okay, too. I don't hate anybody. You know, I had one guy said I was threatening him the other day, you know. I didn't. I said, how am I threatening you? What am I saying that's threatening, you know? You know, I had one guy said I was threatening him the other day, you know. I didn't. I said, how am I threatening you? What am I saying that's threatening, you know? And I told him, you know, I'm going to have to stand over you and watch you. I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
My behavior was not right. I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent.
Criminal vehicular battery. Some woman he purposely ran over with his car.
I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent. I'm not saying I got really violent. I didn't get violent. And I told him, you know, I'm going to have to stand over you.
Sadly, I got to get up and do what I got to do here and try to keep doing, making finances until I leave this place.
Criminal vehicular battery. Some woman he purposely ran over with his car.
Sadly, I got to get up and do what I got to do here and try to keep doing, making finances until I leave this place. Sadly, I got to get up and do what I got to do here to try to keep doing, making finances until I leave this place.
But the lady in the hospital ran her over with his vehicle on purpose.
I had one guy said I was threatening him the other day, you know. I didn't. So how am I threatening? What am I saying?